Yeah, you're going down. Like, take out on Lawrence.
My biggest fear in my entire life as a racer growing up was to break my back. Unfortunately, it did happen, and I was like forced to just face it. I was off the bike for a full year. You know, I basically had 3 back surgeries. I wore, you know, a brace to where I couldn't bend or twist for a very, very long time. And, you know, it's one thing to break your arm or to break your, you know, your leg, but like to lose the core, like the core of your body, like the basic foundation of everything. You know, over the years, we've built up our core and our back muscles and stuff. And then I remember the first time I went and rode when I got released, just the G-force of like going up a takeoff, that hurt the back, you know, or I jumped like this 15-foot double at my buddy's house, and I was like, God, man, the impact was crazy. So it was a long process to try to get back to being competitive, broken down for a long time and like, why me, whatever else. And I was like, well, you can either accept this fate and you can move on with your life and quit saying poor me, or, you know, you can complain about it and then you can step away. I just kind of remember like looking in the mirror, I was like, you're not done yet. You know, I can't walk away on these terms. So I think for me, I was at a massive deficit, obviously, with not riding for a year or even training. But I think for me, from the mental side of things, I matured so much through the injury. And I got a whole new outlook and perspective on life, that it was like, even though I may not have had the laps or the training and all that stuff in, I think from the mental side, I grew so much that I was able to like still be competitive. Obviously, I kind of was with this team. I won 2 outdoor championships with them. I knew how good the bike was. Unfortunately, at that time, with where I was at from a mental standpoint, it was time for me to move on from Star Racing. And the next chapter of my life was Geico Honda. They were like family. They treated me really well. I couldn't ask for any better people to be around. Unfortunately, the bike was good, but I just don't think it maybe had quite the level as far as like what the Yamaha 250F has. I took a lot of hits on that, lost a lot of races, and you know, I learned a lot through those years, and I'm thankful for the opportunity with Geico Honda. I know that I'm getting older now, and it's really time for me to try to get into this 450 class. You know, I had many great opportunities like Mitch and Gas, and then obviously Star. Honda didn't offer me anything. They kind of said that I wasn't the future for Honda, so it was just like, hey, we'll see you later. I just went back to the bike that I knew that I have won on before. You know, it could potentially set me up to be under the same roof for a 450 factory ride if I win. You know, I've watched every practice, every race, and I think, you know, I've been riding with Christian and with Colt, and you're always just trying to learn. There's your practice track riders and put in your time here, but then when you go racing, it's like, you know, it's the great equalizer. And that's basically where you're, you know, you try to watch and you try to study and see maybe some tendencies from certain people that you race. And obviously I'm not racing Jet or Christian or Colt right now on my coast, but eventually we are going to meet up. Just try to educate myself and see what I can do to maybe get an edge on them. The biggest thing I've picked up on from training with Eli, or just being around the Tomac family in general, is pretty good practicer, and I work pretty hard, but I've never seen anybody just school me. Like, I remember like riding with my brother growing up. He schooled me, and then we kind of got to a point where I started to beat him, and he's like, dude, you're such a good practicer. When I went and rode with Eli, he just waxed me. Like the first time we rode Supercross together, even when I got on the Yamaha, I was like comparing my times versus my Honda times. I was over a second faster, and I was just blown away. He beat me by 35 seconds. The biggest thing for me is like the series is short. I can't control who I'm racing or what they're gonna do or whatever else. So the biggest thing for me is come in, be ready, and just go for the win. You know, put myself in a good situation, and like I said, go for the win every weekend is probably the most important thing I think that I'll be focused on. I mean, if we can be the points leader, great after round one. If not, who cares? I've definitely won a decent amount in my career, but I've also lost a lot more. You either win, you lose, and you learn, and then you come back. So that's just kind of how I look at it. I'm probably not going to be perfect every round, every race, every lap, and I know that. It's pretty tough to do that in a 9-round series, especially in Supercross, where there's a lot of stuff that can happen. So for me, it's just about exposing myself right now, riding with different guys, like you saw me today, motoring with the teammates and stuff, and trying to didn't roll over for me. Just trying to put myself in a race-like situation and make myself uncomfortable, so maybe race day will be a little bit more natural. Yeah, so Big Al and I are on the Yamaha dogs again, and we were just talking, and it was like he was in a tough situation too, and I told him, I'm like, what's the best stock platform? Out of all the 250Fs out there, what's the best platform? What's going to provide you with the fastest engine? The torque of the bottom end of a Yamaha, you can't deny it, man. And you see a lot of them, a lot of privateer bikes are up there too, you know? So Alex ended up going Yamaha, and honestly, I'm pretty excited because I have not raced Alex in Supercross since 2014 or 2015 because he was always on a different coast or like he got hurt. It's gonna be pretty fun.